Hello everyone, welcome back to Kirkley's Guitar School. In today's riff lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play the main riff for Rebel Rebel by David Bowie. You can grab the free tabs for this from the first link in the description. It's just a quick side of A4. You can download that completely for free. Don't want anything from you. Head to the first link in the description and you can grab that. It's going to help you get this across the line. Now this song's great. This is what we're going to have a look at. But this song's great because it's one of those kind of like 2-bar riffs that just go round and round and round, and you can jam on most of the song. So what I'm hoping to do today is just give you a little taste of that so that you can play a little bit of something that remotely sounds like Rebel Rebel, and then if you want to have a look at the rest of the song, you can Google it or check it out from somewhere else. So this is what we're up against today. So you can see how it's just a variation on most, sort of around this kind of D5 shape to an E. So let's start breaking that down. So, we're over here. So it starts with like a little semi-quaver flick of the wrist, a quick down and an up on this D5 chord. Now a D5 chord is a D major chord, the triangle, I call it the pizza chord, but you want to remove the high E string, that second fret of the high E. And for starters, we are going to come to it later, but for these three notes I'm going to show you, you're going to play it down, up, down, and a very quick flick of the wrist, but I'm going to try my best not to catch that high E string. Now if you do catch it, it's not the end of the world, it will still sound harmonious. But can you see there I'm going down, up, down. Now bearing in mind I'm not pressing that top note of the D chord, I'm going to, with upstrokes, play the open high E string, and then my third finger is already in the right place for that third fret of the B string. Now most people would skip up to the next string here, but it's not, he actually moves it from this third fret of the B to the second fret of the B, and I have this second finger, my middle finger, here in waiting. Now I don't know if you noticed, but I completely let go of everything else there because we'll go into this big fat E major chord here. I'm then going to let go and play a full E major shape, and I'm going to do a quick upstroke. Now you can't see it until we get to the next bar in the next slide, but this, immediately after you've played this E chord, you're going to touch the strings of the guitar to kill it. Pause the video and get that under your fingers for me to begin with, please. Right, we're going to come back here in a second. Can you see how I've tagged the extra bar on? So we've looked at this so far, and then can you see that little 7? Doesn't mean you have to play the 7th fret, it's what we call a quaver rest. Looks like a 7, but it's not a 7. So what that means is after you've played this E chord, I want you to touch the strings to mute it, and then do another upstroke on that E. Just practice those two E's with the pause in the middle for me, please. From here to here. Just practice that for me, please. From there, we're going to completely let go of this E shape. You can keep that, sorry, I was just trying to figure that out. You can keep that E shape pressed down with a little bit of messing around if you want. I'm just trying to figure out whether I leave that E on or not. Yes, I leave that E on. Sorry for the confusion there. So we're going to keep that E, but then I'm going to take my middle finger, my pinky, and I'm going to pull off between that second fret of the B and that open B string. And then I'm going to pick the G and the D string down here. So just to be clear, Getting that confused with another riff that I'm doing a lesson on this week. But what's lovely about that is, can you hear all the notes of the chords are sort of bleeding into each other with a little bit of overdrive on your guitar? It sounds great. And getting that open low E string is a really important part of the riff. I've heard people play it in bands and they don't put that open low E in the bottom, and it sounds weird as a result of it, because it sort of introduces what we call syncopation. Right then, so that takes you to what we've just covered. There is the top line of the PDF that you can download. Now if you have a look in the middle now, you can see that there's 4 bars in the middle, and it's the riff just repeated twice. Now we don't have the little flutter, the little flurry of notes at the start, simply because there's nowhere to put it in. So you're going to play that riff. After starting it, you're going to play it another 2 times, but you're just going to catch that one time on the D5. Well, just, you know how I said you can sort of jam on most of this song by playing just this riff? You just keep going around that riff. Now, there is a bit of a chorus section, but I won't worry about that to start with. Let's get the riff under his fingers. Now, to finish this little ditty, we're going to hit a D5 chord, and we're going to hold it for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go to an E, and this is the only time in the whole thing that you're going to play that E chord with a downstroke. And then I'm going to play the 3rd fret of the low E string, and I'm just going to bend this G to a G sharp. It's what we call half a step. I'm bending this 3rd fret so much so that it sounds like the 4th fret. Don't overbend it, because it'll sound naff. Just a little bit. You're almost just kind of playing with the... And you can just go round and round and round that. Without the tab. Now gear wise, it's nothing too ornate. Is this? I'm using a Gibson Les Paul Custom today into a Boss Katana Artist Mark III. I'm just using the crunch channel. Now I often preach this, when you are wielding humbuckers and a crunch sound, I'm thinking of the sort of school of like Paul Kossoff and that sort of 70s rock free type sound, which is essentially like a Marshall that's wound up, but there's not so much overdrive that you lose, it gets fuzzy. And what I mean by that is I can play this G chord and I can hear the sparkle of the top 3 strings of the guitar. If it just kind of sounds really compressed and really mushy and like a wasp in a jar, you've got too much gain on. So what I'd do is I'd have your middle and your bass at probably 12 o'clock, and then just a little bit more treble, maybe you treble at 2 o'clock maybe. And a lot of the attitude comes from actually digging into the guitar. So, don't forget to go to the first link in the description. You can download a free PDF. There's over 100 other free lessons that you can check out on there as well, completely for free. And what David Bowie riff do you reckon I should cover next? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next week for another guitar lesson. Thank you so much.